right, pushing live as you're eating your pot pie right now. We welcome back. These are the intros I want.
Well, I gotta take off. Push to talk. Are you live right now?
Yeah,
Seriously? Oh my
I
gosh!
pushed record. Yeah,
I'm feeding my fat face over here, and you're going live on me. How's that? Can you hear me still?
I'm back.
Okay, good. I'm still gonna eat. So this is like warming me up because it's so cold outside.
Oh, so is my heart, but that's a different story.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so good.
Is it? Is how good? Is it, you said it's just chicken pot pie.
Mm-hmm. With biscuits on top.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. I got the carrot.
Well, hey, welcome everybody to the DukNilla NFL cast with
food edition.
Food edition. Some potential ASMR. Who knows? I'm your host, Vanilla James, with my co-host, the luxurious, mukbanging Olduk.
Yeah, back from my solo job from last week, right?
I think you did really good, though. You did really good by yourself. I was like, I need to take more days off.
I was nervous. I like hot sweats. I was like, I gotta wait one more day. I got one more day. I can't do it right.
Yeah, unfortunately, I was under the weather and had my brother in town, so I was I was all sorts of messed up. Still trying to recover from being sick. That's why this cast got pushed to the last minute. We are recording this on Saturday night, which thank God there was no Thursday night football.
Oh, we would have been a hot mess.
Oh, I would have been like, I'm gonna take
it'd be a no camera one, right?
Oh, it might have been a no camera one for
sure. Like, wait,
I think I'm gonna have
be right back.
Oh yeah, it would have been a very hot mess. With that said, though, let's get into some things. I wasn't here last week. You were catching up to me. You were one game behind after the end of that week, and sad to say, you are still one game behind this week.
Hey, that's not bad.
No,
the way I started off, because I was losing the first two. I had to win the next two. You gave me the Steelers one. I mean, that was like a given. I don't understand why you picked the Steelers.
We'll get into some of those picks here. I'm like coughing now. I haven't been coughing all day. As soon as we push the record button, I'm like dying of cough.
Right? Oh my gosh.
Just unbelievable, really. But we'll get into some of those picks here. I think I have to pull them on my phone because last week I didn't write down our picks because I phoned them in. Actually, no, I did write them down. I wrote them down.
Oh gosh. That was loud. Well, there goes your, weekly me screwing up the sounds. Would you stop? Stop auto playing. Why does this crap do this?
This is because you're a boomer. And that's
Where's the freaking autoplay? Shut your mouth.
All right, let's go right into the games. First up, we had the Titans and San Fran. This is where I just got to kick you while you were down kind of thing. First game in. Yeah, Titans. I saw a nice little statistic. The Titans are like, oh God, I think it's like 5-4 without Derrick Henry. Is that Patrick Mahomes? Is that Patrick Mahomes?
No, what's up, Mahomes? Come back over. What do you need? Nothing. Okay. He didn't realize we were recording. I forgot to tell him. Because we're usually live, right?
Yeah.
And today we just decided to do the recording because, we're all a hot mess.
Yeah. Which, for the record, if you're not following us on YouTube, you're not watching this on Twitch because it won't be there. But YouTube will be our only place for the live, the actual cast part where you can, watch it.
Yes.
Other podcast forms, maybe in the future, but for now, YouTube will be our exclusive place to be. So you're gonna have to go there.
Sponsored by anybody.
Yeah.
Hit us up.
Yeah, oh yeah, totally. With that said, though, the Titans took care of business. Pretty close game, 20-17. But the Titans doing it without Derrick Henry. We're going to be getting into this week and next week. We'll be talking about playoff runs and how dangerous teams can be. And I want to point out that this is a team I want to put on watch, is the Titans, because they're getting healthier. They're getting players back, which is the opposite of a team like Tampa Bay, which is losing everybody. We will get into Tampa in a minute, but I am very worried about them, the longevity of the playoffs here. I have a lot of questions, and we'll get into that, some other teams as well. San Fran, still in it. Let's talk briefly wild card picture here. We'll go AFC first here. San Fran still holding the number 2 wild card seed, tied with Philly at 8-7. And then you have three teams at 7-8: Minnesota, Atlanta. You heard this correctly, Atlanta, and New Orleans at 7-8. By all rights, I believe Washington is technically mathematically still alive, but I'm going to say they're not. So really, we're looking at San Fran, Philly, Minnesota, Atlanta, and New Orleans. 2 of those teams have to go, or are in the rest are out. So 3 of them aren't going to make it. I have my conclusions who I think that'll be. I'll mark Minnesota, I'll mark Atlanta, or I'll mark New Orleans out, and then to me it's just a battle between I guess it's hard. It's Philly, Minnesota, and Atlanta, but I feel like I want to knock Atlanta out as well. So it's really just between Philly and Minnesota, in my opinion. And then when we go to the AFC, we have the Colts at 9-6, New England at 9-6. It's worth noting Cincy, Buffalo also 9-6, but they are leading their divisions. Then we have in the hunt at 8-7. Tied with Miami, we have the Chargers, Las Vegas Raiders, Baltimore, and then still in the hunt we have Pittsburgh and Cleveland, oddly, and Denver. Yes. Right. So a lot more scenarios to play out there, which we'll get into some of those teams,
here. Yeah, the Browns have still a decent chance, but they have to,
The Browns have a chance at 7-8 to host a playoff game.
They have a chance to win the division still.
But I would like, I get some things wrong and I get some things right. I've been really down at KC this year. I've been wrong on that. I've been right on things like Seattle, the Ravens. Another thing I want to point out that I was right on is I said that Cincinnati would be the team that Cleveland would have to beat. I said that at the very beginning of the year.
You did. I'm surprised that came to fruition. I knew it wouldn't be Steelers. I thought the Ravens would be a lot better than they are right now. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I think a lot of people thought the Ravens would be a lot better than they are right now. They're on the bubble, not making it, which to me was unthinkable. I didn't think the Bengals would be as good as they are this year. I thought it was another year or 2 before they would be up there. But yeah,
for sure. Let's get into the next game. Next up, we had the Browns getting trumped by the Packers. This really wasn't a trouncing. This was actually more upsetting for the Packers.
The Browns should have won this game.
This really was more upsetting for the Packers, just because this was a home game for the Packers. I don't even think this game should have been that close. And I mean, we're talking, the Browns had a chance to win it in the end, even.
Now you just brought back some, gargling, boiling, piss off mode in me from this game, right?
Get it out.
2 of the mother flipping interceptions that happened from Baker should have never happened if the refs were competent in calling a game.
I agree with
Two
this. I think
blatant misses that we have a booth that reviews every single play, that is reviewing all this stuff. They should be calling this stuff from a different area, I don't care where it is. I saw it with my eyes closed, as you could tell that this was called. I was completely pissed off that this happened. There was two of them. And that was a big tone of a change of the game.
There was a lot of missed calls in this game. I'm not one to say it's easy to point one call can swing a game, but there are a lot of other opportunities for the teams to have had. With that said, though, I do feel, as a Lions fan, the Packers get special treatment.
And we were out still quite a few players, right? Defensive line was decimated with two. We had one injury, with Tack McKinley being out, and then no Jadeveon Clowney again, and we were missing our starting safety in Greg Newsome. So we were missing quite a few players, and we still had the game close. But this is our 6th, 7th game that we've lost within 5-6 points. So I think Chubb was beastly, but that's nothing new.
No,
he had a great game.
I think this is a bigger tale to say of they're just not healthy. I don't think the Browns are healthy. We're going to get into that as we get into the playoffs about who's healthy, who's not, and that's who's gonna make it deep into the playoff run. You might win your first round, but there's 3 rounds.
I watch a lot on Twitter about Cleveland. I follow pretty much all of Cleveland's teams. There's so much hate. This Cleveland Browns community, and I would go as far as to say is almost every NFL team has these types of fans, right? We're not the only team. I would hope we're not the only team. We go 2 years of winning one game, right? And woe is me, we suck, this and that. Then we go and win a playoff game, the next year. And then we're having a little off year because of injuries are the biggest thing. I wouldn't say it's COVID mostly. I would say we've had some pretty serious injuries on some of our players, especially our quarterback. He's all beat up. I don't care if it's your throwing arm or not, but when you're trying to do motion and you're in this type of element, whether it's cold, cold today, I'm freaking hurting like a mug. My bones are hurting, my knees are popping, my feet are cold, but you're to be in these types of elements and continually doing the shoulder issues that he's going through and all this stuff. Yeah, he was off target. This game was not his best game at all. They kept it close. There was a couple calls that really were a throw on this game, I believe. WWE. Do I need to bring that up again?
I put a note in that it's not scripted. I hate when you say that. You are such a troll. You are such a troll. It is not scripted. You can tell me that I will buy. That they have favorites. All right, I'll buy that certain teams have preferential treatment, but I will never buy that a game is scripted. You will never get me to even entertain it.
I'm just saying. There is about this much, much possibility.
No,
okay?
You can tell me there's preferential treatment. Preferential treatment. Thank you.
There is.
I will agree, but there is not scripted games. I think
there's a little bit of money. Maybe somebody walked in on the field and gave the ref here. Here's a couple hundo.
No,
don't even look the other way.
Too many plays, too many things happen. I don't believe it. You're wrong, and we're moving on.
Las Vegas is in NFL too much. I'm just saying. Think about it.
You're wrong, and then we're moving on. Shocking game of the week. Arizona loses to the Colts.
Yeah, I don't know if this is shocking as much as it is last week, them losing to the Lions, right?
Yeah, that was absolutely. I think
this game I could see it, but this
is a red flag for the Cardinals. This is this is panic button. We are hitting panic button hard right now. This is terrifying. I I don't know what to do with the Cardinals anymore. I had them as a in my top 5 for a Super Bowl. Like, if I had to pick 6 teams, they're there. The Colts are red hot. This is another team that, watch out. They're getting healthier
at the right time.
They're getting hot at the right time. This is a team to watch out for. This is a dangerous team.
Jonathan Taylor with another 100-yard game.
Big time.
Golly.
So
I'm excited to see this team. As much as I want the Browns in, I want to see what the Colts are going to be doing.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Watch out for this team.
I was a little leery on Wentz at the beginning of the year, right? I was like,
one of us wasn't.
Sam Darnold, remember? But you were big on Sam Darnold.
I know you kept calling him Sam Darnold, and I'm like, excuse you.
No,
you're like, yeah, he's a Sam Darnold.
Get out of here! You said no. Sam Darnold's much.
For those people who are binge watching our episodes right now, you will remember this man.
Right.
So, let's move on to the next game. Next up, we had Atlanta beating the Detroit Lions. Thank God, the Lions did their best to try to win this game.
What was going on? Owners are like, time out. Would you just stop?
Yeah, like, guys, you want to lose, we want to win.
Yeah.
I'm all for competition. Like, deep down, I want the Lions to try to win.
Yeah.
I'm just rooting for the other team. Because this is a audition for next year. This is an audition for everything going on within next year. 1 second.
Yeah, as much as you want them to keep winning and being a part of what's going on, you still want to see, you still got to put your 110% out there. You still got to be playing as if you want to be on a team. And I think a lot of these guys are seeing that audition. This team might be wiped. You don't know who's going to happen. But you still want to, even if you're like a 500 team, you're not that far away from being on the top, right? You're a couple players away, to be honest. They're a little further away. They still got some good talent on the team. I think they're probably a quarterback away.
That's a big piece, by the way.
You know what I mean? That is, and because we're seeing it in the Browns, right? We're having some hesitancy, inconsistency playoff there. Granted, there's some injury.
I don't think a QB
COVID that took out the whole COVID team. You know what I mean?
Here's a little controversial take. Okay, a quarterback does not make your entire team, but a quarterback can break your entire team.
I agree with that because we're seeing that in Carson Wentz. Right? I think
he doesn't make your entire team, but he can break it.
With bad play style. Yeah. We've seen him with bad play style before. Right here, Matt Ryan.
I mean, even Matthew Stafford has had some bad games, and his team's picked him up. We could even look at other teams, that are doing well right now. I mean, Miami. We're talking playoffs here for Miami. Look at the Tennessee Titans, a prime example of. Right now, Dallas. Dak Prescott has been playing like hot garbage, and he's over here getting carried by his team, which is gotta feel great. Philly. God, I would love to see Gardner Minshew start a playoff game, please. With that said, Atlanta here. Potential playoffs. We'll see coming up. Next game we have Cincinnati against the Baltimore Ravens.
Really?
The Bengals beating the Ravens 41-21. This was a good game to watch, like just to see what was going to happen. But to me, this was we should have seen this because, like we said, we've been kind of low on Baltimore. They also started a backup QB. So I think this was just easy to call. But we'll see for the future of both these teams. Nothing's guaranteed. Baltimore's not they're in the hunt, but they're outside looking in. Since he's holding, they're the opposite. We'll see. They could lose everything to Cleveland here, but they have a lot of scenarios where they could lose a lot. Next up, we have the Rams. The Rams beating the Vikings. Duck took the Vikings in this one like a complete coward.
Coward.
I'm just not sold on
Minnesota.
I just feel like they can't win the big ones, you know. Rams looking good. The Rams are getting hot. I mean, Stafford I think needs to pick up his game a bit, but I think with that connection with him and OBJ, if that connection
needs to slow his roll, and he needs to, he needs to pipe down on Twitter.
Doug needs he needs to pump his brake on his hatred. Slow his roll on his hatred. But
I'm just saying, he needs to pipe it down a little bit. He's getting a little big head again.
If OBJ and Stafford can build a connection, have that rapport for the playoffs, this is a team to watch out for. It is.
They don't need OBJ. Okay, I think OBJ is going to be the death of this team.
Robert Woods is out. Deshaun Jackson is gone.
Cooper Kupp's doing enough.
Cooper Kupp. Who else?
That's what you need.
You have to have a number 2.
No.
And if your number 2 is OBJ,
no,
I'm feeling good.
You don't want him as your 3rd or 4th. Okay.
We will agree to disagree.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, we have the Bills proving that if weather's not an issue, they could beat the Patriots. This was actually a game that put a lot of red flags for me. The Patriots are not like this. Like before, if we were talking years past, if the Patriots played at home, it was like they're gonna win. It's over. Well, not anymore. And the Bills proved that if it's not snowing with like 40 mile per hour winds, they could beat them.
Which is shocking because they get that almost every other Sunday. So I don't get it.
Next up, we had the Turd Bowl. It took me everything in me not to put a giant turd here instead of this actual picture. The Jets beat the Jags. Duck won the lottery on this one. I was really just rooting for the Jags to win so the Lions could have the number 1 spot again. So they could squander it on a guy named Kenny Pickett or something, and we could fake slide our way to last place again.
You could do that with the 2nd pick. Here you
go. Next up, we had the Eagles beating the Giants. Giants, I think, are just... I mean, it's obvious. I mean, they're not in it anymore anyway, but... This team has a lot of questions going into the offseason. I mean, you have guys like Kenny Galladay, very underwhelming for this team. Saquon Barkley can't stay healthy. Amazing, talented kid, but you can't pay a guy that much money to not play. Same with Kenny Galladay. It's why the Lions really let him walk, because they didn't want to overpay him. But, I mean, this team has so many questions with the Giants. The offseason, which we'll be talking about, during the offseason more, but the Eagles, on the other hand, look, I don't know what to think of this team. Like, they're getting lukewarm. I'm not going to say hot. These be the Giants, but they're still in the playoff hunt. I mean, they're in a wild card at the moment. They're the number crazy. 3 seed. They're the number 3rd. They're the 3rd wild card.
Yeah, and Jalen Hurts, he's starting. So, like we said, we want to be seeing more Gardner Minshew. Would you take Gardner Minshew on the Lions?
Absolutely.
As a starter over Goff?
Absolutely. I would be way more optimistic with Gardner Minshew.
I question myself, would I take him over Baker Mayfield? Man, that's a tough. Both healthy.
I don't know.
Probably not. But
probably not. No.
A healthy Baker Mayfield is a good player. It's just difficult.
You're talking to a team. As a Lions fan, we're stuck with Jared Goff with this like $50 million contract for another year.
Yeah. He's raking in some dough. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying?
And I mean, we pretty much traded his contract for Stafford's, which is like just about equal, and did not get equal payment for. I mean, I'm glad we got a 1st round pick, but the Lions will squander it.
1 first-round pick for that? Didn't you get something else too?
I think we got 2 firsts, 2 seconds, and I'd have to look at the details.
You got some, well, you won't know if that's going to be worth it or not here in the next it'll take a couple years for that to see if it's worth
Oh,
it.
I 100% think the trade was worth it. The Stafford wanted out, and the Lions with their history of not letting players out, Barry Sanders, Calvin Johnson, I can't remember that QB's name.
Yeah, putting Calvin Johnson into retirement because of it.
Yeah, very bad history. I'm so happy they let Stafford move on. As a Detroit Lions fan, I never want to see anybody move on because I'm a fan. I want them to stay here and help us win, but it's good to see them do the right thing. Guy who put in a lot of time for the Lions, so really good to see that.
Mm-hmm.
But that said, the Bucks came back to beat up on the Carolina Panthers. We talked about the Bucks earlier, getting injured. Injuries just being a problem severely for this team, and it's potentially going to hurt them in the playoffs. Real quick before we dive into that, though, Panthers and Cam Newton, is the honeymoon over?
I think so.
Honeymoon?
I don't know if you'll see him back on that team after this year.
That was rough. I'm back.
I think the honeymoon was over after that first game. We saw who he really was, and that team was after that first game that he came back. So
absolutely,
it's unfortunate because I thought he would be good, but evidently he's one of the many quarterbacks that have been in the NFL that just can't grasp it again after they've done well from the beginning.
With that said, the Bucks, with their injuries, they do have some guys coming back. Antonio Brown coming off his hiatus of his fake vaccination card. What a hero. He's
There's
back.
Someone else too that came back, from that.
Yeah, he's going to be needed with the injuries to Mike Evans, to Chris Godwin. He is going. Him and Scotty Miller. It is time to step up, boys. Scotty Miller is a prototype like Brady kind of guy. So I'm pretty excited to see that. He got buried in the depth chart though. Rashad Perryman came up, ex-line, got dropped from the Lines this year. Good on us. Speedy receiver took over his spot. I think this other Johnson guy took over him too. But we'll see. Antonio Brown being back is going to be huge. Leonard Fournette being in this, that's probably the more serious one for this team. They were really starting to lean on him. I think Ronald Jones, time to step up again. He's a great running back too. He is not Leonard Fournette though. And Leonard Fournette was getting hot.
Did Fournette, I didn't see this. Did he get hurt?
Yes. But he's out for the season as well.
He's out for the season. They put too much, I think the problem with him is because he's had this in the past, right? Where he's got injured at the end of the season and was out. They relied on him too much. I think that's why a dual running back is much needed. You can't put too much on one running back, or you're going to see them get burnt out. I get hurt.
I think another thing too is the Bucks this year haven't really been blowing teams out in too many games this year. I mean, last year they really didn't either. They made it in with. They didn't have like the most amazing record last year either. But I mean, you're seeing like when they're blowing teams out. Most of the time you would see, a backup running back come in and, take those snaps off. And we haven't really been seeing that because they haven't been blowing teams out that much. But spoiler alert, the Texans beat the Chargers. This was a trap game. This is the epitome of it's a trap game.
And they got shellacked.
Yeah, this was
24 points in the fourth quarter. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I didn't watch this game, but that you can't have that. You're coming down into the playoffs and a run for it. This is a chance that we were talking about this team doing really well and I think a lot of people were talking about this team being, top of the AFC, and they might not make the playoffs.
Yeah, they're on the bubble at the moment.
Yeah, this was a game they had to win, or should have won. Wow. I
mean, they're currently the number 1 wild card. Or no, excuse me, they are the number 4. They're on the outside looking in as well. That's when you're behind Miami. That's terrifying. Next up, another shocker here. I knew Seattle was bad, but I didn't think they were that bad to lose to the Bears.
The Bears.
In Seattle as well.
In Seattle. Gosh,
that was
Seattle. Oh, they had a snowing game.
Yes, it was a snow game. But Seattle knows. They know snow. This is just the complete and utter
snowing in
collapse of
Seattle?
the Seattle
Does that happen that
Seahawks.
often?
The real question is, well, first off, I want to get into some things. Nick Foles started the game. Nick Foles, the Nick Foles, Super Bowl hero Nick Foles, overly paid Nick Foles. The real question for me is Russell Wilson done with Seattle? Is this the last time? The next 2 weeks, the last time he wears the Seattle Seahawks uniform?
I think so.
And when we go into the future of Seattle, I think they need to move on. The problem is this year's draft class of QBs is not projected to be that good. But we can say that every year, and all of a sudden there's an MVP, a Hall of Famer come out of the class. So we really don't. We can say that all we want. We can listen to analysts say that. We don't know. But it doesn't look to be a strong class. And really, it comes down to what the free agent market's going to look like, and if the draft class is expected to be weak and the free agency looks rather weak, you're looking at paying up for a subpar QB. That doesn't sound good either.
Who's a subpar QB, or just anybody in general? Just
anybody who's available. I mean, so Russell's going to go get paid somewhere.
We talked about this. Would you take Russell on the Lions?
Absolutely.
So absolutely, you weren't sold on, but when we talked about it at the beginning of the year, you weren't sold on him getting paid so much because it hurt the rest of the team.
I think it generally, I think that hurts teams. Yeah. Well, I think if Russell Wilson goes to another team, right? I don't expect him, nor would I. If he came to the Lions, I don't want him making $50 million a year.
Right.
No, I want to prove it. I would much rather have a prove it deal of like 2 years, right? 30 per year. So 2 years, $60 million
on that team. You can't all go back to him in general, but
you can't pay. You can't pay your QB.
Yeah.
Big money and expect the rest of your team. Russell Wilson.
I was thinking about this. Go ahead.
Russell Wilson has proven to me, and this is why I don't want to pay $50 million for Russell Wilson per year. He hasn't proved to me that he can carry the load of the missing pieces. That could also be team building. So we can't entirely blame it on Russell. It can 100% be team build, where the Seattle Seahawks has been neglecting the defense for a while, to give Russell pieces like a DK Metcalf, an O-line. But I need to see more.
There's very few quarterbacks that can carry a team fully.
Yeah,
with very little, and I can name 2 right now that there is. That's it.
I will say this: I will take Russell Wilson over probably half the QBs in the league. I would love to have him in Detroit. If they signed him for $50 million, I probably would still be optimistic. But I don't want to see that as a long-term sports fan and as someone who looks deeper into these things.
I think the hard thing for Detroit would be if they did that, it would hurt them building in any other parts, because they're not hurting just at quarterback.
Oh, well, here's the other thing. They can't afford it this year. This coming up year, not this year. This coming up, because they owe Goff, I think, $50 or $45 million this next year. So now you're paying 2 QBs $100 million. It's an absurd amount. I don't see it happening. And that's guaranteed money. Like, you could cut him, and you still owe it to. So it's this weird you'd have to sign him if you did a big contract. You'd have to make the first year, and then make like 75 his second year.
This is an interesting scenario for the Browns, though, because they have not paid the big contract to Baker, right? That hasn't happened yet.
Which is why they have all these star players.
Free agent, right? Yeah, they do. We don't. But our wide receiver core is dreadful right now.
I'll say this too: Russell Wilson is a scheme quarterback. To me, he's not a all-in-one. Like he could play every offense. He's a shorter QB. He's a Drew Brees type. And don't get me wrong, his scheme, like if you give him the right scheme, he's untouchable, unstoppable, really good. Just like Drew Brees. He's a short guy. He takes like 20-step drops, tiptoes, throws a dime, got a cannon for an arm. Great athlete. I think he's got to find the right fit. And I think Seattle is no longer the right fit. If Dak Prescott wasn't working out, I would say Dallas would be where he should go. He would fit great in Dallas.
I think Dak's not going anywhere. He's doing pretty good enough for them to not have to worry about a quarterback right now.
Now, knowing, this is going a little bit deeper, but like knowing Dak's politics per se, we would have to really look deeper into like I don't think he would go to the Texans, right?
Who?
Not Dak,
Russell?
but Russell.
No,
I don't think he would go there. I could maybe Vegas.
Yeah, that's a potential.
Maybe Pittsburgh.
I don't know what his home. Yeah, Pittsburgh, because this might be Ben's last game, right?
Mm-hmm. I could see him going to Denver.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of potential. A lot of places that are going to court him.
San Fran, I could even with all their moves they've made, I could see him. Atlanta, I could see. New Orleans, I could really see. Maybe even Washington.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for political wise, state wise, I could see him going to Washington. I think.
There's a lot. I mean, there's probably 20 plus teams that are gonna look after him.
Speaking of Big Ben, though, I'm just gonna move on to the next game here.
Yep.
We have. I took this is me giving up on the Steelers now. Big Ben had his time. I know some people are saying like, "Oh, he's gonna be Big Ben of old to come back." No, he's old. He's done. He lost to the Chiefs. I've been really low on the Chiefs, and
Chiefs.
They
didn't just lost.
Beat them. I was about to report this as an old man beating.
Yeah.
Next up, we had the Denver Broncos barely losing to the Las Vegas Raiders. Two teams hanging in there for the playoff hunt. Denver not as much. Still definitely, in it. Vegas right on the outside, right looking in, pretty much right next to the door. Then we had Dallas just destroying the Washington football team 56-14. By the way, we didn't talk about this with the Panthers. Sam Darnold came back in that game.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Did it help him at all?
We won't talk about that. We won't talk about that.
Okay. Really mattered.
But Washington just looking like hot trash, man.
I mean, Dallas scored 42 points in the first half.
Yeah.
They were on coast mode after that. I mean, it was 42-7. Yeah, all right.
Yeah,
this was good. And we thought we've been talking about how good Washington's defense has been.
It doesn't matter how good they are.
Were they decimated on COVID? Is my guess. Were they missing a bunch of players? Because that seems to be the tale of some of these teams.
Yeah, it's Washington.
Taylor Heineke didn't play great. They couldn't run nothing. Oof.
Our last game we had the Dolphins beating up at the Saints at home. I said this in our picks. You relayed it for me. I said I'll take the Saints if the fans show up. They didn't show up.
Did you see my text? What I say? Yeah. You laughed at it. I said, what's his name? The quarterback. It's a different quarterback that started today with the Saints, right? Ian Book, right?
Oh, yeah, you did.
Book's about to go off.
Yeah, you did.
Next play.
Yeah, I remember that.
Like, I spoke too soon.
Yep.
Come on, Book.
I said the Saints if the fans showed up. They didn't show up. Yeah, so Miami though, sitting pretty with that third wild card slot. I don't know if they can hold it, but we'll see. But with that said, let's move on to the Olduk critical review. It's the power rankings by NFL.com.
We'll we'll go through this top 10 pretty quickly because not a whole lot is drastic change, but Jacksonville's at the back, and there you got the Giants next at 31. Carolina's moved back 2 more spots to 30. Jets actually moved up 2 to 29. Detroit moved back 1 to 28. So Detroit's still not at the back end. Texans, with their big win, move up to 27. Washington moves back 4. I think that's a great move. They just laid a major egg. That was just bad. Whether it was COVID whatever it was, it was ugly. Seattle went back 1 to 25. You keep saying they're sliding. They keep sliding back. They're 5-10 this year. They're even worse than the 500 that you depict.
I said less than 500.
Hit. Yeah, it's they're not even gonna. Yeah, they're not even sniffing that. Scroll too high. Chicago Bears moved up to 24. Denver Broncos are 23. Who was it that I saw? I mean, we still, Washington's still in the playoff picture, right? So they're moving back, but there's still yet a potential, very minute, but potential. Denver stayed at 23 with playoff potential as well. Falcons moved up 3 spots to 7 and 8. They're still in the hunt. New Orleans Saints moved down 1 to 21. Pittsburgh moved down 2 more to 22 or to 20. Baltimore moved 3. They're right behind Pittsburgh to 19. And they're, in the playoff hunt as well. Minnesota moved down to 18, 3 spots from 15 to 18. The Browns stayed at 17. I think that's because it was a close game, with the injuries, with the COVID issues. There was. I'm not going to go into the S word. I'll leave it out this time. But with the refs' help, Green Bay won this game. Even my friends, because I'm so if you all know, I live in Wisconsin. Okay, even my friends. I mean, a lot of my friends are diehard Green Bay Packer fans, and they even were texting me and saying, "Oh man, some of them calls got you, got us the win." Essentially, okay, that it was that bad. My friend was not at this one. This was Christmas the week before, though. He was at it, but it was ugly. The Las Vegas Raiders moved up 5 spots. This is a big jump, 5 from 21 to 16. With playoff potential still. The Eagles moved up 4 from 19 to 15. Los Angeles Chargers moved out of the top 10 to 14. 4 spots dropped. I like that. I think that loss was not good for them. You can't lose those and expect to do well. At the end, they're starting to falter pretty quickly. San Fran moved back 2 from 11 to 13. Miami moved up 1 from 12 to 13, or from 13 to 12. Excuse me. Tennessee Titans are still not in the top 10 yet. They're 10-5 with plenty of playoff potential. They moved up 3 spots though from 14 to 11. I think that's a little bit crazy. This is the biggest one right here. Arizona Cardinals moved from 5 to 10. That's a huge drop.
Can I call bull crap on the Titans, please? I'm sorry, I had to go get a cookie.
Bull crap on the Titans. To go get a cookie, now you want to call bull crap? Go ahead. Go ahead. Tell me why you think that's bull crap. About them going up that many or not being in the top 10? Yeah, I agree with that. Right. It's ridiculous that they're not in the top 10. And they haven't been for how many weeks? Right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. But they're quick to jump Arizona Cardinals on the cusp of being out of the top 10 from 5 to 10. So
that happens when you lose to Detroit.
Well, but they lost to the Colts. The Colts are a much better team than Detroit and some of the teams they've been playing, especially this time of the year. So that's a big kick. I don't know if I agree with that. The Bengals moved into the top 10 from 12 to 9. I like that. I wouldn't have put them 9 maybe. And ranked 10 and move Cardinal. You know what I mean? To make it a little bit less of a blow. On my picks, that's what I would have done. New England Patriots moved back 1 from 7 to 8 after their loss. And the Buffalo moved in front of them to 7 from 9. Number 6 is the Dallas Cowboys. They moved up 2 from 8 with their shellacking of the Washington team. Number 5 are the Colts. Colts are in the top 5 right now. Moved from 6. Who would have said that from the beginning of the year? The Colts being in the top 5 of the NFL right now with Carson Wentz at quarterback. I don't know if anybody. I did not believe it. Dog, don't even start putting your hands up in the air now, thinking that they would be in that position. Maybe in the top 10, top 5. I don't know. Tampa Bay won. Yet they got moved back by 1 from 3 to 4. Right? They did win. Am I thinking something wrong here?
They won.
Okay. I don't see many people losing position. The LA Rams moved from 4 to 3. I don't know about that. I'm not a fan of that move at all. Kansas City stayed at number 2. This team had a rough first start of the year, but are just like lights out right now. I watch out for this team to potentially winning it all. I mean, I think they have potential to get back there again. That's how well they're playing right now. The Rams, I don't think they're on the same potential as Kansas City. They're not on the same playing field. Even though they're the same record.
I disagree.
I think if these two teams play even 10 games, Kansas City would win 9 out of 10 times. I think Kansas City is that much better. The talent with Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, and Mahomes actually playing a little bit better. There's no chance.
On paper, yes. But so did the Dream Team. Do you remember Philly with the Dream Team? I know you remember Philly with the Dream Team.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't matter.
Right. But even they had the Browns on paper to win the Super Bowl. Is what I'm saying is that paper don't matter. You're right. But I think we've been seeing the play, and Kansas City's been lights out. Green Bay is number 1 still. Even though they lost or won, they
Green
barely
Bay just
won.
Finds a way to win.
Yeah, this is an Aaron Rodgers.
But
right?
I can say the same thing about KC. And I'm really low on KC.
Look, I'm in. I mean, Green Bay Packers are an NFC team. Okay, we all know I'm a Browns fan, right? So AFC, I want the Browns to win all the time. NFC, I'm a Packers fan. When the Browns were gone in 94 to 99, I was a Green Bay Packers fan. Okay, my brother. My half brother was a Packers fan. I was like, okay, I'll cheer them on. I got nobody to cheer on. We ain't got a team anymore, right? So I cheered for them. I still got some, for love for this team. I always had since that time. And they're, even though the game didn't look great, they win the close games no matter what. You know what I mean? So this is going to be an interesting playoff. We already know some teams that are in it, but the teams that are going to be getting in it, there's some tough teams even at the bottom of the barrel that are going to be. It's going to be a hard playoff for a lot of teams. So that's our top, our rankings for the week.
Well, with that said, let's move into our weekly picks. Currently,
yes.
You are getting spanked.
Spanked. What happened last 2 weeks ago?
I have a whole 1-game lead now. So with that said, I will leave the first pick up to you.
I will pick the first pick.
All right, you pick first between the Washington football team hosting the Philadelphia Eagles.
I wasn't ready.
It's actually a tough one.
I don't know if it's a tough one. I'm going to go Eagles on this one. I think the Eagles are warming up at the right time. I don't think they're on fire like they're going to come and do anything big. Yes. One break. I got to tell good nights to the kids. But Eagles.
All right, Eagles.
I got the Eagles.
Yeah. All right.
I love you. Okay.
Little kid.
So I got the Eagles. Yes. All right.
All right. Next
I got another one here, but go ahead.
Oh, I'm taking Washington.
Who did you pick? Yeah, you did say you're picking Washington.
I'm taking Washington one last time, and hoping I'm picking against the Eagles one more time.
All right. Well, let me get the paper out already. You already done picking it. You already done losing. I mean, we're tied right there. You know that, by the way.
And then next up, we have the Ravens hosting the Rams. I will be taking the Rams. And I don't see Duck taking the Ravens.
Yeah,
or does he?
Here. No. The Rams.
All right, next up, we have Duck picking the Jets on their winning streak, hosting the Bucks. Who would you take?
Hold on. I had to write it down. Sorry. Sorry. Who are we talking about again?
The Jets, who are on a winning streak, hosting
Jets.
The Bucks.
It's Bucks. Come on. Jets on a winning streak. Will they win 2 in a row finally for the first time in 5 years?
All right. Next, I'm taking the Bucks as well. Next up as my pick, the Titans are hosting the Dolphins. I've really been Titans. My strategy this year has really been take the Titans when they face a good team, go against them when they face a bad team. But I think playoffs on the line here. I think the Titans find a way to win it. So I'm gonna take the Titans.
Titans.
Taking the Titans as well.
And Baltimore. Yeah, I'm going Titans on this one.
All right. Next up, we have Duck with the pick of the Patriots hosting the Jags. Do we have a trap game?
No, Patriots on this
one.
This is the biggest odds favorite that I've ever seen. There's no way you're thinking about taking the Jags on this one.
Just want the Jags to win.
They're not going to win.
I'm going to take the Patriots, but I'm telling you,
way bigger.
I'm putting a star on this one because I wouldn't be surprised.
You want the Jags to win for the Lions. That's the only reason why.
All right, next up we have the Colts facing the Raiders. This is going to be a good one to watch. This game's getting time shifted. I'm going Colts though.
Yeah, me too. Colts.
Next up, Bengals facing KC.
Oof. This could be a good game. This could be a good. Where's this game at?
In Cincinnati.
Is this me picking?
Yeah.
I'm going Kansas City. Not because I'm a Browns fan and want them to. I mean, it helps. I just think KC is hot right now. Okay, if they go and falter this game and lose, then I'll be off of the KC bandwagon. But I'm on it right now. This team is clicking at all cylinders.
I'm taking the Bengals. So,
well, good. That's another. I'm gonna be winning. After that, right now,
it's like I get to have so much fun rooting for KC.
Woo, baby! I'm watching that game.
Now this is going to be a good one. The Red Hot Bears are taking on the Giants.
Wait, Red Hot Bear? What do you? You must do like descriptions and stuff in the newspaper to make them look good, because that's all that is. That's a bunch.
Man, this is a tough one. Giants have actually been playing decently as of late. This is just a complete no one cares game. I'm gonna go with the Bears.
Yeah, I get the Bears. So it's no thought process needed in that one.
Next up, we have the Bills hosting the Falcons. Duck's pick.
Bills and the Falcons. The Bills.
I'm going with the Bills as well. Falcons need this game, but I just don't. I mean, that's a tall hill to climb over. Potential trap game here. 49ers hosting the Texans. The Texans have really been impressing me as of late. Just proving they're not gonna just sit down and shut up. They're proving they can come out and play some games. With that said, though, I mean,
do it.
Houston is allowed they're tied for second for the most rushing yards allowed. The 49ers love to run the ball. I have to go with the 49ers.
Oh. I'm 49ers as well.
All right, next up, Duck picks first. The Chargers are hosting the Broncos.
I gotta go Chargers in this one. Home game. I think they're gonna, get their heads out of the sand and then actually win this game. And
this is an in-division game.
Better playoff potential chance here. So
I think either of these teams can win. But I'm going Chargers as well. Next up, we have the the Saints hosting the Panthers. Guess what? Surprise, surprise. We go with the Panthers. I believe the Panthers are going to start Sam Darnold. And I'm going to be happy.
I'm going the Saints. That's like 100%. I don't care who they play at quarterback. Drew Brees may come out of retirement and play left-handed. He still would beat them. Saints win this game. Get out of here with that Panthers bullcrap talk.
This is how I got my lead. Sam Darnold comes back. Give it to me, baby.
Headline. Sam Darnold, still the dud he was from the start of the beginning of the season.
All right.
Well, there's man, I'm gonna be a +2.
Next up, we have the Seattle Seahawks hosting my Detroit Lions. Duck, you're up.
Detroit don't want anything to do with winning right now. They don't want to win.
Keep trying,
but it's because they have to. It's part of the script.
Get out of here.
Seattle's gonna win this game, though.
Yeah, I'm going with the Seahawks as well. That way I can root for the Seahawks and pray my Lions lose. All right, this is gonna be a good one. Cowboys are hosting the Cardinals. Cardinals are on this really bad losing streak. Dallas is just riding it high. This is a playoff. This is a playoff preview right here. With that said,
so my pick or yours?
My pick.
Oh, good.
This is hard.
Oh, this is easy. I mean, this is so easy. This is a no-brainer pick right now, okay? If this was, like, beginning of the season, week 3 or 4, it'd be a little harder. Right now?
All right, I'm doing it one last time.
Oh, gosh. Let me write it down because I know you're going to screw this up. Go ahead.
Taking the Cardinals.
Yep, I got the Cowboys.
All right, next up.
You remember when I was down 6?
I remember
you're about to be
8.
in that same position. I was down 8 at one time, and only down 1 now. I mean, I toyed with you at the beginning of the season. Okay?
You ain't gonna catch me, man.
I ain't messing around anymore. You have put yourself in a hole with these picks.
We've only picked 4 different so far.
What's the next game? Yeah, no, only
Packers
4.
hosting the Vikings.
Okay. I mean, Packers.
I'm taking the Packers as well, but I'm going to explain this as in division game. These games go any which way, man.
It goes in division game.
He says it every time.
How many times have Green Bay lost at home in December? 1 or 2 in the past 3 or 4 years. Barely at all. there's no chance. But yeah, I know you picked Green Bay, but there's no in-division rival hill.
All right, next up we have the Pittsburgh Steelers hosting the Cleveland Turds on Monday. Pittsburgh has won 3 of the last 4 versus Cleveland.
Pittsburgh has won like 15,000 against us.
This is a loser doesn't make the playoffs for sure game. I do have this feeling that Pittsburgh is going to do everything they can to win this game. This is a huge rivalry game. The Browns know how to implode.
Everything? That's exactly what they're going to do. Everything. Okay?
With that said... Do I really have the balls to pick the Steelers again? It is a no. I'm taking the Browns.
Yeah, I got the Browns in this one too. The whole talk about Roethlisberger retiring after this game, might bring a little more fire to them. Might potential. But
I mean, is it I think this would be his last home game, correct?
Yes. I just want to see, if anything else, even if we lose,
this would be Ben's last home game.
The Browns move to another state after this next season. If they could just beat Pittsburgh like they did in the playoffs last year, oh my gosh, so many Browns fans would be happy right now.
I am really thinking about audiobling my pick to Pittsburgh.
It's one of those. What have we been saying? We've been gaming, right? And you and James would be saying, "What was that? What's that? Those 2 words? Give them to me. You give them to me, Chad." Oh yeah,
oh yeah.
That's what it would be, baby. It's gonna happen. It's happening.
Oh,
I ain't doing nothing else on Monday night besides watching this game until the Browns start getting shellacked. And I'm turning it off. And we're going to go shoot some people on Tarkov. That's all it's going to happen.
With that said, those are our picks. We have 4 games that we differ in. Washington and the Eagles, Bengals, Chiefs, Panthers, Saints, Cardinals, and Cowboys. Those are 4 we differ on. Ducks only down by 1. Can he close that gap completely and expand it his way?
The question is how much am I going to be winning after this week, baby?
You say that week after week, but it never comes to fruition.
I'm at only 1 behind.
That's it. 1.
Takes 2 games to be up ahead of you, buddy. And we got 4.
With that said, we really appreciate you guys watching. However you watch our content, well, guess what? The only way you can watch this content is now on YouTube.
The tubes.
So please enjoy the content. We hope to see you guys. Please comment below if you maybe disagree with Duck's takes. He has some really bad takes. Please let us know down below.
Or Vanilla James takes. They're rough.
I never have a bad take. They're all good takes. Mahomie, sit down as you lose your first round in the playoffs.
Oh, look at him talking. Carson Wentz, watch out as he wins the Super Bowl.
I ain't go that far, but I'm pretty close to saying it. Y'all have a good night. We'll see you guys next week.